With all the focus on the elections coming up, the New Hampshire tomorrow, we've talked enough about it in the debates. Everybody's lost their focus on foreign policy. Foreign affairs is really where the biggest problem is. We call it terrorism here, and maybe foreign affairs is really all the same. And that's where the epicenter of the president's failed policy has been over 7 years. ISIS is now moving into North Africa big time. It's basically taken over Libya, or a major chunk of it. That's our fault. We got rid of the dictatorship there. Talking about, the president went in talking about all these people who are going to be killed and massacred. And so we take out the despots, and then we leave no government to let new despots come in. And wow, President Obama, all these people are getting killed, and we're letting ISIS just kind of keep on rolling there. We laid out the welcome mat for ISIS. How about Syria? Look what's going on with all the millions of people leaving. And then we talk about billions of dollars that we, the United States, are trying to put it to help the migrants, or the immigrants, or whatever they are, the refugees. How about all the countries in Europe who have to take these people? And it's like we're trying to catch blood. It's like we're putting out all this money, to save the blood. We're not worried about the patient, but we're letting the patient bleed out all over the place. I've been very consistent on this for years in our written website. Back when we were just doing JAAC, and now here. We are just totally blowing this. We are allowing this disease to just infect the entire Mideast. It's going into North Africa, working its way down from there. Who knows where it's going to go? There are enough despots in Africa, but you already have Boko Haram. You got some others down there where it's all happening. Yemen, Somalia, as you're working your way into towards Saudi Arabia. You got all this stuff going on, and what are we doing? We're taking out one government in Libya and doing nothing to replace that government. In Syria, we drew red lines. We did nothing there. The Russians then walked in, filled the vacuum that we talked about for gosh knows how long, and are now bombing out our supposed allies who were there trying to get rid of Assad. Has anybody seen any of those pictures of Homs or any of those other towns in Syria? They're not towns or cities any longer. They're bombed out husks. You see the pictures of the people? They're starving them. Assad's starving these people. They look like the people in the concentration camps after World War II. Mr. President, what are you doing there? John Kerry keeps running around, Secretary of State. We're pretty lucky he didn't win that election. I'll tell you, George Bush wasn't that good, but Kerry would have been even worse. The Secretary of State's running around talking about deals, and what kind of a deal are we getting? We're getting no deals. And meanwhile, Russia just keeps bombing everything out. Why aren't we where are the sanctions we're putting up? How about North Korea? They don't care. Now they're shooting up supposed satellites that are really precursors of missiles. Why aren't we turning up the heat there? Because we're afraid of China? Why are we afraid of China? Because they're out there in the international waters building illegal islands so they can try to take more control over Japan and Thailand and Vietnam? I mean, what's going on here, Mr. President? It's just our foreign policy is horrible. And I hate to use the word domino because the dominoes weren't the real when it was Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos. I mean, it dominoed a little, but it was really our fault. This is different. We've withdrawn. Maybe this is our fault. And we've let all this happen. And we're letting things get worse. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then Iran, I mean, is anybody even talking about that? I love their elections. All of a sudden now, the Ayatollah is not allowing any of these so-called liberal candidates run for office, only conservatives. So the Ayatollah gets in there, lets some figureheads go in, make a deal with us on nuclear weapons, let a couple of our prisoners go, and then pick up some more prisoners because they're really good at that. And now they're only allowing conservative candidates to run. Conservative not as we understand conservative in the Western world, but conservative, think about how really radical those people are, and wait till we see who wins those elections. Things are going to be changing there. The European countries putting money in Iran, I'm worried about for you. That's going to be your cash flushed down the toilet. So we've got all this coming down, all this plus other economic issues. And where's the president? Nowhere. He's running around talking about this or that. He's not even in Flint. At least Hillary's in Flint. I give her credit for that, worrying about the water. So what are we doing? Foreign policy. A total mess. And because of that, the new president, whoever it's going to be, he or her, is going to be forced to have to take a more muscular position. It's going to be forced into it. The vacuum is going to force the United States in, and we're going to have to, who knows where we're going to go from there. I'll tell you this, I sure hope the president doesn't put any more people into Iraq. This is a guy who talks about keep pulling the troops out, and he pulls them out, and then he puts them in 10 here, 10 there. It doesn't work. You're either all in or you're all out. Mr. President, if your heart isn't in it, don't do it. very worried. But at the same time, the Cult has a new album out. And there's one song there, Avalanche, which just rocks. The whole album rocks. But it rocks. Turn it on, crank it up, and pull yourself off the wall. 4 minutes of total sonic destruction. The Outer Cockers can still rock. Peace.